Welcome everyone to a Khan Academy tutorial, solve triangles using the law of sines. Let's go ahead and get started. We're going to have to talk about what is the law of sines. So if we're talking about a triangle, A, B, C, those are our angles. First thing we got to recognize is the sides would be called C here because it's opposite angle C. This side, hold on, let me erase this real fast. Okay. So that would make that this would be the blue C right here, and that's a big C. That's supposed to be a big C. The next thing is we'll call this B. That's a big B. This would be the little b because it's opposite the B. And then let's make this last one green. This would be the A. Okay, big A, and then the opposite side would be little a. Okay, because it's opposite that side. That's how you identify the side. So the first step is always labeling the triangle, okay, both angles and sides. Now, let's talk about some a different thing, the actual law of sines. So the law of sines says that the sine of A, the big angle, or the angle I should say, the big A, over its opposite side A is going to be equal to the sine of B, big B, over its opposite side, little b. And also, it's going to be equal to sine of C over its opposite side, little c. So that's the law of sines. So that's kind of our proportion that we can set up. We're only going to be using two at a time. So we either use these two, or we use these two, or we use A and C. We set them equal to each other. Okay, whenever we have a proportion, we only can have one unknown. So let's go ahead and evaluate what we're looking for and what we need to find. This problem says that we are looking for AB, and that is right here. So it looks like we are looking for little c, that side length there. Okay, that's what we are looking for. So if we use the highlighter again, we're looking for that opposite side. Now, step two is we're looking for pairs. So we're pairing up what we know. What do I mean by that? Well, like I said earlier, we're looking for a proportion, to set up a proportion between two of these. So if we want to find C, well, then we better circle C. Okay, so we're going to circle the angle C along with its opposite side, little c, okay, because that's what we're looking for. That's two of the pieces of information that we're looking for. So we know we need sine C over little c because we are looking for this side. We are looking for that side. Now, that's one unknown. We do have the angle C, so that's good news. So there's only one unknown so far, and that's the C. Now, we need another side. We need to set this equal to another proportion, another ratio, another fraction. We can't use A, either the side A or the angle A, because we don't know either of those pieces of information. So that would be too many unknowns. That'd be three unknowns in one proportion. That's not good. But we can choose B. Okay, so as long as you have this relationship where you have a side and its opposite angle, you can use the law of sines. So here we can use sine B over B because we have both those pieces of information and we only have one unknown in this proportion now. Okay, only one unknown, and that is C. Okay, that's side C. That's the only unknown there. So we can set up this proportion. Now, what we're going to do is plug in our values. So we're going to put sine equals sine. Okay, and then I'm going to go ahead and fill in the values. So we know that sine of B is 122 over 8 is going to be equal to sine of 26 over C, and that's what we're trying to find. What do we do from here? Well, it gets simple. We just cross multiply. So we're going to have 8 times sine 26 is equal to sine of 122 times our missing angle, or sorry, our missing side C. Remember, that's what we're trying to find. That's the only unknown at this point. To get it by itself, we need to divide both sides by sine 122. Sine 122. Okay, that will cross that off, and now we have C by itself. C equals, and it's going to be equal to this. So I'm just going to type this into my calculator as is. So the calculators, especially the TI-84 Plus, are pretty good at this, so I'm just going to type it as I see it. 8 times sine 26 divided by sine 122. And I hit enter, and I get 4.135. Now I need to round to the nearest tenth. The nearest tenth is that guy. So these are going to get canceled because it's a 3. So I have 4.1. And that's going to be my answer for letter C, the length of AB. What did I say, 4.1? I did. 4.1, check it. All right, next question. Angle B. So note that angle B is acute. Okay, so angle B is acute. This is important because if it is obtuse, we're going to have one more step, which is a little annoying, but we'll cross that bridge when we get there. Hopefully we get one of those problems. So this is B, and this would be little b. First thing is labeling. This would be A, and that would be little a. And honestly, we do not even care about C and little c because we don't have any information on it. So we don't even need to worry about labeling that. But for your record, that would be C and little c right there. All right, let's go ahead and set up our proportion. So we have information on sine of A and the side A. So we're definitely going to use that. Our unknown this time is the angle. That's our unknown. So we're going to make that our unknown in the top. That is going to be sine B over opposite side B, and we know the opposite side, so we only have one unknown. This will work. Okay, so let's go ahead and plug stuff in. So we have sine of 81 over 15 equals the sine of B, that's still unknown, over 11, because that's what B is equal to, little b. What we do from here is cross multiply. So we're going to cross multiply here. We get sine of B equal, times 15, almost forgot, equals, what is that, 11 times sine 81. Okay, now we got to get B by itself. So the first thing we have to do is take care of the multiplication. Divide by 15, divide by 15. So we have sine, I forgot to write it in green, B equals 11 times sine 81 over 15. Now, how do I get the sine, or excuse me, the B by itself? Right now it's being signed, so I have to do the opposite of sine. The opposite of sine would be inverse sine. So I need to take the inverse sine of both sides. Inverse sine of both sides. What that does is it gets the B by itself on the left, and that's going to be equal to all of this. So I'm just going to type this into my calculator. So I'm going to go inverse sine of 11 times sine 81 divided by 15. And I get 46.4. 46.4. Now this is the part we got to check. Does it say, or does it look like it's acute? It does say it's acute, so we don't have another step after this. Otherwise we would. If it's obtuse, we have another step. We'll cross that bridge when we get there. Right now it's 46. Round to the nearest degree. So it's going to be 46 degrees, not 46.4. 46, whoops, delete, 46. All right, next question. Solve triangles using the law of sines. Round to the nearest tenth, find BC. What are we looking for? We're looking for BC. That is here, this bottom side. Okay, we're given its opposite angle, A. And then what else are we given? We're given that this is C, and then we're given this. So we're given enough to make our proportion. We're going to be using sine C over C is equal to sine A over A. That's our setup. Let's plug in our values. Sine of, what is that, 61? I can't read it. Sine of 51, good thing I erased it. Sine of 51 over 16 is going to be equal to sine 84 over the side length A. Little a is right there. We cross multiply from here. When you're looking for sides, it's a little easier in my opinion. 16 times sine 84 equals A times sine 51. We're going to divide both sides by sine 51. And then we have A by itself, and it's going to be equal to all of this on the calculator. 16 times sine 81. Make sure you're in degree mode, by the way. Divided by sine of 51. and I get 20.33. 20.33, but I round to the nearest tenth, so I get rid of this guy. 20.3 is my answer. 20.3. Okay, somewhere I messed up. Maybe, let's just double check. Sine of 80. Oh, I put sine of 81. Okay, hold on. I got this. Sine of 84. I don't know why I put 81 on my calculator. Divided by sine 51. Sometimes you can be extra careful and you still mess up. So guess what? It was 20 point. We were very close. It was 20.47. So this rounds it up to 20.5. Actually, I'm kind of glad we saw that. We got to see a rounding. So what did I say? 20.5, not 20.3. My mistake. Typed in the wrong number on the calculator. Goes to show. Okay. Oh, man, we didn't get an obtuse problem? You got to be kidding me. All right, I'm going to have to show what to do if it's obtuse. Man, that is such a bummer. Okay, so anyway, we have this value given, and then we're looking for angle A right here. So there's our relationship. Man, I'm so bummed. Sine, Khan Academy, you got to mix it up. Sine of A over 5 is going to be equal to, why'd I use yellow? What a poor choice. Let's use purple. There. That's way cooler. So sine of 28 over 7. So once you get good at it, you can go straight into substituting. All right, cross multiply here. We get 7 times sine of A equals 5 times sine of 28. I divide by 7, divide by 7. Sine of A equals 5 times sine 28 over 7. I have to take the inverse sine of both sides. Inverse sine. Inverse sine. So I get angle A is equal to all of that inverse sine. So I'm going to go ahead, go straight to my calculator. Inverse sine. 5 times sine of 28 divided by 7. Okay, and I get 19.59. So A equals 19.59. Round to the nearest degree, A equals 20 degrees. Now, let's say it said A is, oops, I thought I had the highlighter. A is obtuse. So if this said obtuse, so if you get a problem that says obtuse, what you need to do is you take this value here, okay, and you do 180 minus 20 to get your obtuse angle. Okay, because clearly 20 is not an obtuse angle, so you're like, oh, this doesn't make any sense. You subtract it from 180 and you get 160. So if it said it was obtuse, your answer would be 160, not 20. Okay, so be very careful if it says obtuse or it looks like it's obtuse. You got to subtract it from 180 because law of sines is limited with obtuse angles. This case, it says it's acute, so we're going to put in 20. But if it says obtuse, you got to subtract from 180. That's your warning. Okay, so there we go. Obviously, I had that little screw up. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you need another example done, let me know. But I hope to see you next time on Wes Explains Best.